Our issue opens in a lavish apartment. Outside, Moon Harbor falls apart, buildings collapsing, streets caving in. But this apartment is a bastion of cleanliness and order. After a wide shot reveals the apartment, the next panel shows Nick, aka the former Lighthammer, and the current hero Requiem, lounging in a fluffy pink bathrobe on a chaise lounge. Beside them, the smiling Phoenix stands, clearly uncomfortable.
This place is nice, though it could use some art.
I truly do not care.
Look how bare the walls are, Phoenix. Not a single Lighthammer-themed tapestry hanging anywhere. And that ceiling, I mean, what is a ceiling in a high-class apartment without a mosaic of the creation of man, with me as both God and Adam?
A better one.
Okay, rude.
Take your feet off the table, Requiem.
Seriously, you can call me Nick. Again, N-I-K, not N-I-C-K, I can tell.
Requiem will do.
Okay. Fifi.
That is not my name.
Fifi will do.
You are every bit as obnoxious as you've ever been. Feet off the table.
Why do you care? You don't live here.
The host is screaming in my mind. This table is handmade, apparently.
Okay. Your host is either an idiot or the funniest person alive. That's not handmade, it's Drykia. Look on the bottom. See? Made in Sweden.
Why do you know that?
It's like riding a bike. A really nice exercise bike. A gelaton. Ooh, can you ask your flesh vessel, body, whatever, if he has a bar?
I do not think you should be drinking right now.
Please, a mimosa doesn't count as drinking. Plus, maybe this guy doesn't have a sometimes roommate who steals his orange juice. You know, in this whole apocalypse world, I never even thought about looking for her. But, I mean, honestly, she's probably fine. Even Null can't kill chaos like that.
Perhaps we should get her, then.
No, you don't just get Allie. She'll show up when she wants to, if she wants to. It's like trying to catch a breeze in a butterfly net.
I do not understand.
It's impossible, Fifi. Keep up.
If I call you Nick, will you stop with the childish nicknames?
No, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
I do not understand why Brian had such fond feelings for you.
I grow on people.
Like mold.
Fifi, was that a joke? I'm so proud of you.
Do not patronize me.
I'm not. It's cute. It's like watching a really angry toddler.
I am not a pre-adolescent human child.
This dynamic is fun. Maybe you should have been hanging out with me instead of Brian back then.
I would rather spend the rest of eternity being slowly ripped apart, cell by cell, in a black hole. Besides, I do not inhabit humans without powers.
Except for this random investment banker.
He was a last resort. I prefer to cohabitate with those with whom I can have a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Oh, so everyone except me.
Exactly.
Wow, you sure know how to make a girl feel special, Fifi.
Yes, and on a related concern, what should I call you?
Nick, with just the K, not the CK. We've been over this.
No, not that. Your gender.
Oh.
Those were not words.
My Requiem persona's definitely a girl. Lighthammer's definitely a boy. Nick is...
I see.
Do you, though?
No, I do not.
Call me whatever you want, Fifi. Boy, girl, human, scourge. I don't really care. What about you?
I am an ageless being of pure power. I have no need for immaterial concepts like gender.
Ah, cool. That's two things we have in common, then. Oh, thank God.
What is it? What's wrong?
Flesh Puppet did have a bar. And orange juice. And champagne. You know what that means? It's mimosa o'clock, baby. Do you want one?
I have not had alcohol. Brian had it once, and he spit it into your plant.
You're not in Brian's body anymore. Do you want one?
That's... I suppose I can.
Sweet. 2 mimosas coming right up. The champagne's a little warm, but the juice is cold, so we should be alright. You know, in another life, I think I would have liked to be a bartender. Not that a mimosa is like a complicated drink, but...
You have desires other than to be a hero?
I mean, sure. Do you just want to be a mass of pure energy for the rest of your life?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that tracks. Here. Cheers.
What are we cheering for?
No, we're not. You just clink glasses together, like this.
Human customs are strange.
Yeah, you're telling me.
After we save the world, what will I do then?
I assume you'll find someone else with massive amounts of power and develop a mutually beneficial relationship with them, and then probably become a villain that I have to fight again. That's what you've always done, isn't it?
Yes, but I felt different about Ryan. I wasn't trying to develop our power into something stronger and then move to another host to continue my growth.
You cared about him.
I did not care about him.
You liked him.
I did not have romantic feelings for Brian.
Well, sure, but there are all kinds of loves. Like, Brian and I didn't have romantic feelings for each other, but we still loved one another. He could be a stubborn brat sometimes, but he was good.
Yes, enough idle chatter. He would want us to work on saving the world.
Right. We went in against Null with a full team before, and we lost. I mean, we won the first time, but then we very much didn't.
So it is hopeless, then?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you and I can't do this alone.
None of your team members have any recollection of that event.
So we make them remember. For Sana and Nube, the best way to get them to remember is just going to be bringing them together. If anything can jog their memories, it's that.
That will not work.
You might be an immortal energy being, but you vastly underestimate the power of lesbian pining.
I will wait here while you get them.
Oh no, you're getting them together. You're the only one strong enough to get through Curse's warding. And even if I could get in, his constructs would be able to see right through my smoke and mirrors. I'd be a sitting duck.
And what will you be doing?
I think it's about time that I get my hammer back.
Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. This issue is Doomsday, a Faces story, Part 2. In the center of the cover, the smiling phoenix's flame halos Requiem, fists raised. All around them, rushing in, are familiar characters. Daisy in her Lighthammer costume, Nube dressed as El Aguila Jr., Sana, Curse, El Aguila Sr. Behind all of them, the imposing silhouette of Null fills the background, a shadow faintly outlined in purple. We turn the page, and our story continues. We turn the page to see an abandoned street, a close-up panel of a hand reaching down to the underside of a deserted car. The perspective pulls back to see Nube, holding the car above her head with just a few fingers. She throws it and it crashes across the street. She goes to pick up another one. As she does, a speech bubble appears over her shoulder.
Destroying public property, Aguila?
Nube drops the car and turns to see Daisy, leaning against the wall, smirking.
Lighthammer. Hi. It's not what it looks like. I was just...
It's okay. I come out here sometimes to blow off steam too. Who would have thought it would be harder to be famous during the end times than before? I think it's just a matter of time until Moon Harbor goes the way of every other major superhero city in North America. Big pillar of fire, gone forever.
I hope not. I feel this place is important to me, or was important to me at some point.
Family vacation once upon a time?
We didn't really do family vacations.
Yeah, I can't exactly picture your dad in a Hawaiian shirt and board shorts.
Beaches are better where my mom lives anyway.
Oh, where's that?
About half an hour inland from Acapulco. That's where my stepmom Marisol grew up.
Sounds like your mom's place is kind of paradise.
I haven't been there yet. My dad wanted full custody and he saved the judge's wife from some minor villain.
Well, at least he's teaching you the hero thing.
His version of the hero thing. Be a man. Be strong. Drink a beer, mijo. It's what men do. Hit on the girl you barely know, papito. Don't be a sissy maricon. I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him!
On the next panel, Nube flings a car across the road.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to...
Hey, don't apologize to me. I get it. Hence why I come here to break stuff. It's not good to keep that much in.
Show me what you can do then. Let's see what you got, Lighthammer.
Is that a challenge, Mr. Aguila?
On the panel, Nube visibly flinches.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
I'm fine, just... Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Sometimes I hear someone call me Mr. or Sir or Son or something like that, and it feels like someone's sticking tiny needles into my chest over and over and over again, and I try to hide it, but I think my dad notices that because he's so aggressive about me being a man, because I think he's worried that I'm going to be...
Trans?
Yes.
And are you?
I don't know.
Hey, I've hatched so many eggs, I might as well be an incubator. If you are, it's cool. Your secret's safe with me.
I haven't really had time to think about it. I've never even said anything out loud like that until right now.
Well, I'm happy to be the catalyst for your self-exploration.
I don't want to disappoint him.
If I know anything about dads, he'll be disappointed one way or another. We might as well be happy, right?
I guess so.
Well, I know so. So you're gonna have to trust me on this one.
Okay. I trust you.
Good. Okay, so all this opening up is great. But I still need to get some of this anger out of my system by beating up cars until they're scrap metal. Want to help me?
Yeah, I like that.
The next panel is a two-shot of them standing above a car, reflected in its windshield, preparing to rain fists and hammers down onto it. Just before their hands and hammers hit the windshield, there's another panel, showing a stained glass window looking into the library in Curse's sanctum. A speech bubble cuts in from off-panel.
Gargoyle.
Coming, Master Curse.
The next panel shows Curse inside his library. In his hands, he casually examines the staff that Sana stole from him in the other dimension. Gargoyle approaches.
My liege?
I have heard reports that evacuation measures are beginning.
Yes, sir.
City officials are suggesting everyone in our area flee due to collapsing infrastructure. It seems that we will be without hot water and power by the end of the week.
That is what I have heard as well, my lord.
And what do you propose we do?
We will do what you command, sir.
If you were me, then.
I would never presume.
Answer the question, Gargoyle.
I would leave, my liege. For the safety of you and Lady Sana.
And not for your own safety.
I am a construct, master. I do not have any fear of death.
So if I threatened to shatter you now, how would you feel?
I would not.
And yet, you shake.
On panel, the automatopoeia of footsteps in the hall. Sana walks by the doorway to the library.
Daughter, come in. Gargoyle and I were just having a conversation. It seems to think that we should evacuate for your safety and mine.
I will do whatever you command, Father.
That is not what concerns me. What concerns me, Sana, is that this creation has grown fondness for you. So much, even, that it would dare to contradict my will.
Father?
Gargoyle, did you or did you not fix my daughter's radio that I forbade her from using?
It wasn't his fault.
Speak when you are spoken to, girl. Gargoyle, answer your master.
I did, master.
And did you or did you not know my feelings on the matter?
I did, master.
So you deliberately disobeyed me?
I did, master.
He was just trying to look out for me?
That was not its purpose. It was created to do what I commanded it to do, not to look out for my insolent daughter.
I'm sorry, Master.
I believe that, Gargoyle. But I cannot have disobedience in my household.
A wide shot on the whole library shows Curse towering over his daughter. From this perspective, it looks like Sana shrinks in front of him. He points the staff towards Gargoyle as it begins to glow with white magic.
Dad, please.
How dare you speak to me in such a tone? You will learn your place, child. And that lesson starts now.
In the next panel, the staff stretches out towards the reader, magical sparks bursting around it. A swirling beam of light shoots off from it. In the reflection of the magical orb, Sana's face is drawn, distorted but still clearly racked with guilt. A large panel across the page shows Gargoyle, exploding into small fragments of rock and dust. At the very bottom of the page are two panels of just Sana's face, the top half completely shrouded in shadow, leaving her lips and chin showing. In the first, she looks heartbroken, whispering,
Gargoyle.
The adjacent panel, just as small, shows the pain expression turn to fury as she spits out.
How could you?
It is not for you to question my will, daughter. Now clean this place up. I don't want to get dust on my ancient tomes.
You're cruel.
Yes, I have to be. You will have to be too. Shut your heart off to toxic emotions like affection, Sana.
No.
Excuse me?
No, I won't do it. I don't want to shut myself off. I like caring about people. I liked caring about Gargoyle.
Silence! I will not be questioned like this. You will learn to obey, girl. Until then...
A pulled-back panel shows the library as Curse snaps again and two statues grab Sana by the arms.
Sometime the dungeon will do you well. Take her away.
No, Dad, please, I'll be good, I promise.
As Sana is being dragged away, a speech bubble is shown over her shoulder.
And give her the radio, since it was so important to her that she was willing to let her so-called friend die for it.
The last thing we see on this page is Curse wave his hand, slamming the door to the library shut. Our next several panels follow the statues and Sana, silently moving down several flights of stairs in a swirling manner much like in the previous issue. They move through warded and magically sealed doors until they reach the dungeon. There is a sliver of a window at the top, just wide enough to see the cloudy gray sky. Sana is pushed in and the radio clatters to the ground beside her. The door closes. She sinks to her knees and begins to cry. She looks up at the window and walks toward it. Jump cut to Nick as Requiem, reflected in a large glass display case in Daisy and the original Lighthammer's home. In the display case is the titular Lighthammer and the matching gauntlets and helmet. They press their hand to it. With the angle of the drawing, it looks like the hammer is already in their hand. From off-panel, there's a cough. At the top of the next page, Nick stands in the original Lighthammer's doorway as he starts to sit up.
Hey, slow down. You're okay.
I have to warn Daisy about the universe's collapsing. Nick?
In the next panel, Nick makes eye contact with their former mentor for the first time. Even covered in medical equipment and sensors, even with his voice distorted in the hum of the machines, Charles King, aka the original Lighthammer, is formidable, the only sign of weakness being his persistent cough. His eyes are shockingly alert, boring into Nick's.
It's actually Nick now, with just a K, not a C, K.
Is there a difference?
No, not verbally, but that doesn't really matter. Hi.
Does she know?
About the whole universes collapsing into one another thing? I've tried to tell her, but you know how Daisy is. She doesn't believe me.
She will. She's stubborn, but she will.
Why didn't you tell her?
What was I going to say? Daisy, my daughter who I watch grow up, you're not real in this universe.
You knew the whole time, didn't you?
I knew something was different, but I chose not to look deeper.
Hey, breathe. Let me go get you some water.
I'm alright.
Seriously, let me help.
What are you wearing?
Oh, right. This is my other costume for the second persona, Requiem.
So you weren't content to just steal my mantle. You had to make a second heroic identity.
First of all, I didn't steal your mantle. I borrowed it, with no intention of giving it back. Second of all, I needed to do work in the shadows. So I made a second persona who could do that. Someone who can slip into shadows and, be all stealthy.
So, their powers related to lightness and darkness?
Yep.
And you're happy with that name?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
You were Lighthammer and you had sound powers. Then you were Requiem, named after a song, and you had light powers.
Huh. I never noticed that. Do you hear yourself? You have got to take it easy, old man.
I could still take you down, Requiem.
Oh, great. Let's go, right now. Hop out of that bed. Fight me.
Dad, I'm home.
I should go.
There is a close-up panel on Requiem's hand as the original Lighthammer grabs it tightly.
Stay.
She doesn't trust me.
She does. She just doesn't remember.
It's not like she trusted me before all this either.
Daisy would have put her life in your hands 12 times over, Nick. She might have given you a hard time, but never say she didn't trust you.
What the hell are you doing here?
The next panel shows Daisy, standing in the doorway, still in her Lighthammer costume, both hammers drawn, ready to swing at Requiem.
Daisy, stop.
Dad, she's like some kind of stalker. She's unhinged. She's...
one of us.
What are you talking about?
I know what she's told you. That the universe is in the end of the world.
Delusional rantings of an obsessive fangirl.
Whoa, I am not a fangirl.
Nick, not the time.
Nick? You're on a first-name basis with her?
Please, listen to
Are
me.
you brainwashing him? Is that what's happening?
No, she isn't. Or they aren't. What pronouns are you using?
I don't really care. Gender's a lie.
Your generation.
Get away from him, Requiem.
Okay, so he's literally holding my wrist. I can't.
Dad, she needs to go.
Must you two always bicker like children? You're adults now. Act like it.
Yes, sir.
Requiem, go get him water.
I don't need...
No, she's right. I'll be right back.
Dad, what the hell is going on?
That's Nick. Nick, in our original timeline, stole the hammer...
The hammer that I'm not allowed to touch?
Daisy.
No, it's fine, Dad. Why would I be upset that someone randomly walks into my house and my dad, who is awake maybe 3 hours out of the day, uses the time to confess that they are, what, my long-lost sibling?
Not a sibling, though they are family.
Even if all of that is true, why didn't you tell me until now?
I didn't think Nick remembered, so I didn't want to cause you any distress. Why would I make you be one of 2 people who suffered under the weight of this knowledge?
Because I'm your daughter. Because you don't keep secrets from family.
I want to be honest with you, Daisy. I wanted to be honest the whole time, I just didn't want you to...
To what?
To worry about fixing everything. I know you want to, I see it in your eyes, but you can't. You can't fix this.
Maybe she can.
The next panel shows Requiem, standing in the doorway with a glass of water.
The Smiling Phoenix remembers. You remember. I do too. If there are this many of us who remember what happened before, maybe that means Null's power isn't as infinite as it seems. Maybe there are cracks in his armor that we can exploit.
You won't be able to defeat him on your own.
That's why we're getting everyone together. Phoenix is grabbing Nube and Sana as we speak.
And Enki?
As far as I can tell, he was never created.
And Brian?
He's dead.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know he meant a lot to you.
Yeah, so it's me, Phoenix, Nube, and Sana. And Daisy, if she wants.
If everything you're saying is true, then I'm as involved as anyone. Besides, you're my sibling or something.
Ew.
Stop being such a little prick.
I'm not being a prick, you're being...
Enough.
Sorry. Just answer me one question. Was Dad sick in the other dimension, world, whatever it is?
No.
then there's no way in hell you're keeping me out of it.
Was that not your plan the whole time, Nick?
Not exactly.
Then why did you come?
I mean, I wanted to see you, but also...
You want the hammer. Dad?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Charles. I promise I won't let the mantle down. I won't let you down.
I'll believe it when I see it. Don't call me Charles.
You got it, old man. I'm just gonna... I'll let you two be.
You're angry.
No.
Daisy, I promise you, if there was any other way...
I'm not angry, Dad. I'm confused, surprised, afraid. But mainly I'm sad. I'm sad that I'll never get the mantle. I'm sad that everything I know is a lie. But more than that, I'm sad that you didn't tell me the truth.
I'm sorry.
I should go get a mission briefing from Nick, Requiem, Lighthammer, whatever.
Daisy.
I'll see you on the other side, Dad.
I love you.
Yeah, you too.
The next panel shows Daisy leaving the room, followed by a pulled-back panel of the original Lighthammer, illuminated by medical equipment alone in a dark room. We turn the page to see the outside of Curse's fortress. There's a faint outline, the thinnest white line art, of the magically cloaked buildings. Phelix stands across the street, watching.
I cannot believe I let that imbecile talk me into this. I'm walking into the home of one of the most powerful sorcerers on the earth alone, in a vessel that is providing me no power of its own. This is a suicide mission.
Phelix starts to walk away, then pauses. They walk back, look at the house again.
Why does your conscience echo inside my head still, Brian? Why do you insist on doing good? Why do you make me want to do good? Fine. Right. I'll do it. I'm going. Right now.
The smiling Phelix does not move.
Why am I not moving? Why can't I move forward? Am I scared? Is this what fear feels like? No. I don't feel fear. I am the smiling Phoenix. I am a being of nearly divine power. I have no reason to fear the likes of the magician Curse.
The smiling Phoenix still does not move. Several panels pass as they just stare at the stronghold.
Damn it all.
Finally, cautiously, the smiling Phoenix advances forward. They press their hand against the magical shield. It ripples once, twice, and then, like falling glass, shatters. Immediately, alarms start to ring.
Here goes nothing.
The smiling Phoenix begins fighting their way across the courtyard. Massive stone griffins plummet from the skies, claws and beaks bared to stop them, streaks of gray motion lines. Statues with weapons raised charge forward. The castle comes to life, every inanimate thing becoming animated. Still, the Phoenix continues, fire burning around them, through them, and in them. In their mind, one phrase continues to echo.
For Brian.
Finally, they make it through the grand doors of the building, which opens with an explosion of fiery crackles.
Now where is that girl?
From Sana's radio in the dungeon, music plays. Faint lettering just carrying up the stairs.
That's as good a clue as anything.
On their way down to the basement, the barrage continues. The sconces swing out of the walls, slashing with burning hot metal. The warded doors explode with ice, thorns, arrows, black magic. The Phoenix fights it all back, nearly making it all the way down until they come to a hallway. In the next panel, a cell. Sana curls up on the floor, the radio by her head. Guarding the door, a massive granite gargoyle stands.
Sana, get up.
Stay down, child. Your father will deal with this insect.
Sana, I have come too far to not take you out if you're with me. If I have to drag you out, I will.
Who are you?
I'm the friend of a friend. The friend of Lighthammer.
The superhero?
Yes, well, no, the other one.
There's another Lighthammer?
It's a very complicated story. You must come with me.
I don't know you.
Enough with this incessant talk. You will fall, creature, by my hand or my master's.
I've defeated the rest of your ilk. What's one more?
Once again, the phoenix leaps into action. Flaming arms reflect raised horns, sharpened teeth. The new gargoyle, a monstrous reconstruction of the other, is ferocious, making strong, violent physical attacks. The phoenix dodges out of the way, deflects, but does not have the opportunity to go on the offensive. The gargoyle pins them in the corner, their maw stretched to strike the final blow when... we get a close-up panel on Sana's fingers as they snap. The new gargoyle crumbles into dust.
I'm sorry.
There's no time for that now. Come, we must
Look
go.
out!
The next panel shows the phoenix's vessel, surrounded by a perimeter of white magic. It falls to the ground to reveal Curse, arm outstretched holding the staff. From the vessel's pocket, the amulet falls, clattering across the floor and rolling towards Sana's cell.
Did you think you could escape, daughter?
I didn't, I swear. I don't know who this person was, Father.
They were strong. They shattered my defenses, fought through many of my most dangerous creations. In another world, they would have made a good servant. But it is no matter.
An unearthly whispering begins pulsing out of the amulet, silent to all except Sana, lettering swirling around her ears. She looks down at the coin, just inches away from her. She reaches down for it.
If I release you from this cell, will you behave and clean this mess up?
Yes, Father.
I'm glad you have learned your lesson, daughter.
In the next panel, Curse approaches the door to the cell. The second his hand sits upon it, it blasts outward, throwing him to the side. The next panel shows Sana, radiating power, the phoenix fire in her eyes.
I have learned a lesson, Father. I am more powerful than you could ever hope to be.
We turn the page to see a full-page panel of Sana, standing over her father, her hands glowing with her own white magic and the phoenix's fire. Curse lifts his hand to point the staff at her, and she casually gestures, knocking his arm to the ground. The staff clatters and she twists her wrist, bringing it flying towards her. In the next panel, she is surrounded by more of the white magic and Phoenix's flames, a bonfire in human form.
That's the power I was missing.
Are you going to kill me, child?
Why would I do that?
That is what you do when you defeat an enemy.
No. I want you to spend your life thinking of this moment. Of the moment I chose to be better than you. I want you to suffer knowing that you were powerless before me.
You pathetic fool! You are nothing without me!
Am I?
In the next panel, Sana flicks the staff, this time sending Curse into a different cell, followed by an onomatopoeia of a lock snapping shut.
Goodbye, Father.
The next panel shows Sana walking through the door without looking back. In reflection of an earlier panel, Sana waves her hand and the door slams. Jump cut to Daisy and Nick, both out of costume, walking through the streets of Moon Harbor. They each have a duffel bag with them, presumably with their costumes and weapons inside.
So, you weren't lying. You really were Lighthammer before I was?
Yeah, but you were kind of a brat about that. You called yourself the real Lighthammer.
That sounds like me.
We were in constant competition for Instagram followers.
Did I win?
I don't think it really mattered who won or lost.
So I won.
You definitely bought some followers.
Or maybe I'm just that great.
Okay, miss. It took me over a year to figure out the world is broken. Let's not get too cocky.
All I'm hearing is a sore loser.
Shut up. I know you don't remember this, but this dynamic, it was us. This bantering, bickering, it feels right. It feels like coming home.
I think part of me has always known there is something between us. Otherwise, I would have fought you the first time you snuck up on me while I was patrolling.
Yeah, and you would have lost.
In your dreams! Hey, why did you do that?
Do what?
Follow me.
Oh, Brian was dead, Enki was gone, Nube wasn't Nube, and I couldn't get past Curse's magic to get to Sana, so I guess I just wanted something familiar.
Even though I didn't remember you?
It was better than being alone.
I get that. And the rest of the team? Was I friends with them?
Kind of.
Kind of.
You were like a big sister to Enki.
The nature boy.
Right. You didn't really know Nube or Sana that well, but I think you liked them well enough. Sana, especially.
Were we an item?
You and Sana? Oh no. She was very much in love with Nube. It's actually kind of disgusting.
And what about the other one? Brian?
Oh, do you remember Void Viper?
Yeah, the kid who died last year fighting the robot thing.
That was Brian.
And did we know each other?
I would hope so. You were dating.
I was dating Void Viper?
Mm-hmm.
He looked like such a nerd.
Please, we both know that nerdy's your type.
Touché.
But, yeah, he was a nerd. A major nerd. Short, scrawny, but he acted like he could go toe-to-toe with the biggest threats, and he could. He was all kinds of powerful. He was so powerful that it scared me sometimes. One of the last times we saw each other, we got into a fight about something stupid in hindsight. He was working with this demon-like thing.
The Smiling Phoenix.
Right. He was working with a Smiling Phoenix, and they were, like, enhancing each other's powers. And I thought that was reckless, because the Phoenix got a friend of ours killed. Kind of. That's a long story, too. But he didn't tell you he was working with them, so I kind of yelled at him about that. I think the last thing we said to each other was essentially me saying, I'm sorry I brought Daisy along to this fight, but you should have told her, so this is really on you. I don't even remember the exact words. Everything was so much. And then he was gone.
You really loved him.
Yeah. I took care of them. All 4 of them. They were my family. The 4 of them, you, your dad. I didn't really have anyone else.
It sounds like a pretty good family to me. And it will be again, Nick. We'll get the rest of your team back. We'll defeat Null, and we'll make sure this new family is just as good as the last one.
I know. It just won't be the same without...
The onomatopoeia of an explosion splashes onto the side of the panel.
Seriously? Can we not have one nice minute to ourselves?
Come on, we should get changed.
Jump cut to a headshot of a familiar face to longtime Moon Harbor readers.
Yeehaw! Let's get to rustling!
Gun Wizard. The seemingly omnipresent pain in our hero's sides sits astride a saddle high above Moon Harbor. The saddle sits in the middle of a tornado, whipping cars and light posts through the air. Gun Wizard waves their hands and several wands appear, firing bullets into the crowd, which scatters.
That's right, little doggies. Run from the Gun Wizard. Pew pew!
Is that Lighthammer?
Who's that with her?
Is that a second Lighthammer?
What's going on?
I am so confused.
We should probably keep running, though.
The next panel rotates to show the 2 Lighthammers back to back. For the first time in this run, we see Nick in their full Lighthammer hero costume, helmet on, warhammer slung over their back.
Boy, howdy. Lighthammer. Another Lighthammer. We got both the Lighthammers here. A whole toolbox of hammers.
Do you know this person?
Unfortunately. That's Gun Wizard. They were a recurring villain for us back in the day, like a bad rash that wouldn't go away.
The team's own saddle rash.
That's not a thing, Gun Wizard. Can you stop and just, come down here? I really am not in the mood to fight you again.
No can do, partner. I'm rustling the wind.
They can do that?
I truly have no idea what they can do anymore. Wait. Go back. Did you just say both Lighthammers?
Darn tootin'.
How? You remember?
Well, sure.
How do you, of all people, remember?
You think I'd miss out on an opportunity to rustle time and space itself?
What are they talking about?
I literally never know. But I know there's only one way to get them to listen.
So we're gonna have to fight them.
That ain't right.
You could also distract them by giving them something to wrestle.
Russell,
whatever. But that's so much less satisfying than beating their face in.
The two light hammers jump into action. Matching hammers swing, sending sonic blasts through the streets. Gun Wizard leaps from atop the tornado to a cloud, then to a passing breeze, dodging hit after hit. They continually evade, seemingly not going on the offensive. Yet.
Why are they called gun wizards?
Pew pew!
That's why.
Did they just conjure up wands out of thin air? Wands that shoot bullets?
Yep, that's their thing. Wrestling. And firearm.
The battle continues. Gun Wizard summons floating wands and shoots them at the light hammers. The light hammers dodge and send sound waves back. Gun Wizard hops around on the wind to avoid them. Finally, Daisy motions to Nick.
You go round. I'll draw their fire.
Daisy, you know those are real bullets, right?
Real magic bullets.
Stop eavesdropping on our planning.
Right. Sorry. I'll forget that you're gonna sneak around while she draws my fire.
Do they have super hearing too?
No, I think they just have plot armor.
And plot guns. Woo boy!
How is it that you're this much of a nuisance in every universe?
Nick launches out from where the two were hiding. She rushes towards Gun Wizard, sitting on their floating saddle, and swings her hammer hard. We get a splash page of her in midair, hammer pulled back over her head, ready to swing down. Before it can hit the ground, however, Gun Wizard leans back in their saddle like someone riding a bull. They take off higher into the sky, deftly avoiding the swing. They fire a wand at Nick, catching her in the Kevlar armor on her chest. She goes sprawling, not injured, but thrown down. In the next panel, a shadow appears over them.
Need a hand?
Our next panel shows Nick's perspective, looking up. In front of her, offering his hand, is Rider Typhen, aka their boyfriend from her home dimension.
Hand. Sure. I'll take hand.
Rider Typhen pulls Nick to her feet.
You okay? You got hit pretty hard there.
No, I mean, yes, I'm fine. Armor. I've got armor.
At least these dorky costumes are good for something.
A, our costumes aren't dorky. B, can you two stop chatting and actually come help?
Nick looks at Daisy, then back at Rider Typhen, who has already left to go join the fight. There's a panel where she looks sad, but she shakes it off and runs to catch up. A tornado races through the street, Gun Wizard hanging onto it by a lasso and pointing at the group with several wands in their hand. Rider Typhen leaps up, sword in hand, to catch them off guard. Gun Wizard falls, hitting the ground. In the next panel, they lasso the tornado and start to pull themselves into the sky.
They're very annoying.
Tell me about it. The more they stay rustling, the more they can take. So we need to get them onto the ground.
Leave it to me.
In the next panel, Daisy leaps forward, swinging her hammers at the ground and sending a blast of sound through the concrete. It gets under the tornado, breaking the ground below it. Though the tornado doesn't collapse, it does jerk slightly, and Gun Wizard starts to sway.
Felix, now!
Phelix flings himself into the tornado, catching a breeze and riding it to the peak. Right as Gun Wizard is catching their balance, he swings a fist into the underside of their chin. They get launched into the air, off the saddle, and start hurtling towards the ground. On the next panel, right before they land, Nick swings the warhammer like a golf club, catching Gun Wizard and blasting them off across the street, where they crash into a car. The onomatopoeia of the car alarm carries over to the next page.
Are all of the villains in your world this strange?
They're either this goofy or they're world-ending threats. There's not really a middle ground.
Good to know.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but, how do you know my name?
What? I didn't,
You yelled my name when you were telling me to go get Gun Wizard.
No, I said, she licks, because Daisy has a issue with personal space.
I think what the other Lighthammer is trying to say is that you two were in the heat of the moment, and you probably just misheard him.
No, you definitely said my name.
Oh, look! Adoring fans!
Sure enough, on the next panel, the crowd has reformed, now beginning to swarm the heroes.
Are there two light hammers now?
It's a little bit complicated.
Can I get a picture?
I don't know if that's...
I'm just here studying with Lighthammer. She's the one you want to talk to.
As the crowd swarms Daisy, Nick, for a moment, has a sadness on their face, an ache for the days where fame was all that mattered. But it is gone as soon as it arrives, replaced by a determined look. Then a hand catches their arm.
Are you okay?
I'm pretty new to this whole hero thing. It took a lot out of me.
You sure? You seem pretty shaken up back there.
Yeah, just surprised.
By me?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Ah, gotcha. Well, it was nice to fight next to you. Maybe I'll see you around.
In the next panel, Phelix offers his hand to Nick, who shakes it. Phelix then begins to walk away. Nick looks between their former boyfriend and their teammate.
Ryder, wait.
Yeah?
Just, take care of yourself, okay?
You too.
We get one last panel of the two of them looking at each other. Then Rider Typhen walks away, leaving Nick alone. We turn the page to see Sana and the Phoenix, two souls sharing Sana's body as they walk down the street. Sana's words come out as a speech bubble, Phoenix's as a thought bubble. They converse as they travel.
Do you understand what I just showed you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, good.
I have a hot girlfriend.
You missed the point, Sana.
No, yeah, I know. The world's ending. I need to help save it. And there are people that I care about and that I want to protect and get back to. But also, hot girlfriend.
Say right.
Who?
Lighthammer, Requiem, what have you.
About what?
Lesbian pining truly is something I will never understand.
True. So what's the plan?
We get Nube.
Formerly El Aguila Jr., also known as my hot girlfriend.
Yes.
And how do we do that?
Lighthammer just said that your love would be able to shake her out of it.
So no pressure.
Oh no, there is much pressure. If you aren't able to recruit Nube to our side, we will likely lose in the fight against Null to save all realities.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Ah, I can sometimes tell, but your tone makes it hard to understand. You are much less obvious about it than Lighthammer is.
Lighthammer as in Daisy, Brian's girlfriend.
Lighthammer as in Nick with just a K, Requiem, whoever. The old leader of your team.
That sounds like it gets confusing.
An editor's note reads, yes, it does.
So, to rescue my hot girlfriend...
Nube.
Right. We're gonna walk into the center of Moon Harbor and act like a villain to draw her out.
It was the best plan I could come up with.
Sounds like Nick was the brains behind this operation.
No, she was just charismatic.
So, when are we starting the plan?
Now.
The smiling Phoenix, taking control of Sana's body for a brief moment, begins shooting fire across the city as they walk. They target mostly unnecessary things. Burned out traffic lights, police stations, old phone booths, but in the splashiest way possible. Each fire blast is wreathed in white magical crackles.
Is this the best way to do this?
Probably not. Are you ready?
No.
That's unfortunate.
Aguila Jr., I challenge you, come down and face me or risk tarnishing your father's name and your family's legacy.
Now what?
Now we wait.
I don't think we'll have to wait for long. Look!
Flying in from the clouds above, a blur of red, green, and white motion lines, Nube rushes to confront the villains who challenged her.
You challenged me?
Yes, you came fast, Aguila Jr.
Phrasing.
Real mature.
What did you say?
What?
You just snickered and then said phrasing.
Oh, I'm just talking to myself?
Never mind. I'll defeat you.
Very convincing. Attack her.
But she's my hot girlfriend.
Who is your hot girlfriend?
You are.
Excuse me?
I mean...
Nice work. Very smooth.
Oh, so you do understand sarcasm.
Who was being sarcastic?
I'm not talking to you.
Then who are you talking to?
My inner demons.
Are you sure you want to challenge me? There's this really nice mental health facility right outside the city, and I could take you there.
No, I very much want to challenge you.
Right. I don't think I'd be very comfortable fighting you. I'm gonna go.
Just Just look at me, okay?
I'm looking.
No, like, really, look.
Okay.
6 panels in a grid. The first shows Sana's eyes, earnest. Then Nube's, more intense. Sana again, pleading. Nube, softening. Sana, optimistic. In the last panel, Nube's eyes widen. It seems like she's almost made the connection when...
Leave my son alone, villain!
El Aguila crashes down from the sky, slamming into Sana and sending her flying.
Dad, stop! She doesn't need that! She needs treatment!
I don't need treatment, I need you to remember me.
I don't think we've met.
We have.
I don't know what spell you're casting, witch, but you will not curse my son.
She isn't your son.
How dare you?
In the next panel, lightning fast, El Aguila crosses the distance between himself and Sana. She flies backwards, crashing into the concrete below.
Oh, El Aguila, you naive fool. You shouldn't have done that.
Sana stands up, once again glowing with both her power and the smiling phoenixes.
Stand down, or I will meet you.
You are threatening me. You're a child.
I have more power than you could possibly imagine.
The smiling phoenix and Sana burst into magical fire, sending a heat wave hot enough to knock both El Aguila and Nube back several feet. When it clears, Sana floats in the air. She walks forward as if on a floating platform, towards El Aguila.
I do not fear you, sorceress.
You lie. I see your pulse quicken, your face flush. You are a coward, El Aguila. You rely on nothing but sheer strength to win fights. But you are terrified of all things different than you. It's why you fear your daughter.
Daughter?
Nube, look at me. See me.
Who is Nube?
Nube, I love you.
Sana?
A headshot of Nube, her eyes wide with recognition. Behind her, faintly sketched, are memories of the two of them together, escaping Curse's mansion, their date at the aquarium, trying on fancy boutique clothes with Nick, their first kiss. Nube starts to walk towards Sana when El Aguila grabs Sana by the neck and slams her against a wall.
Stop poisoning my son with these thoughts.
She's not your son. She's terrified of who she is because of you.
You know nothing about him, bitch.
Don't call my girlfriend a bitch.
In the next panel, Nube zooms over, trailed by motion lines, and punches her father across the street. She offers her hand to Sana.
Hi.
Hi.
Huh. Lighthammer was right.
Shut up.
What?
Nothing. Kiss me?
Yes, please.
A splash page of the two women finally reunited, standing in the middle of a smoking and fiery street, kissing each other. Then, in the next panel, El Aguila stands up, groaning.
You know this sorceress, mijo.
I am not your son. I am Nube. My hero name is Quetzal. This is Sana. She is my girlfriend.
She's brainwashed you, papito.
No. She woke me up. Accept it or not, I don't care. I have to get back to my family.
I am your family.
Not anymore.
El Aguila starts to take a step forward. Sana raises her hand. Nube raises her fist.
Stand down, El Aguila. This fight is over.
He starts to rise up but sees the two women standing together. They join hands.
I will never forgive you for this.
I don't care.
In the next panel, Nube and Sana walk away. We turn the page to see Daisy and Nick standing over Brian's grave.
So, this is my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It's surreal. This whole thing is so backwards. You know that, right?
Better than most people.
Also, what was that whole Rider Typhen thing?
Oh, well, Brian was your boyfriend, and Phelix was mine.
Why didn't you just tell him that?
He's gay. And I don't know, gender?
You don't honestly think he's going to reject you?
Well, my Phelix won't. Probably. But this one, he doesn't know me. And I've had enough heartbreak in this universe. I don't need any more.
Just one more reason to destroy Null and fix this whole broken situation.
A speech bubble comes in from off-panel.
Linehammer?
A wide shot shows Sana and Nube approaching cautiously. A tiny panel of stillness. Then Nick rushes forward to pull the two women into a hug. Daisy hangs back until Sana pulls away and runs over to hug her as well.
Daisy!
Hi, you must be Nube.
Oh, no, I'm Sana.
Right. Nick's told me all about you.
Oh, no, it's Nick with just a K.
What's the difference?
God, people keep asking me that. Like, I can tell.
You look good, Hammer.
It turns out the apocalypse is actually a great time to be trans. Everyone is too busy surviving to care about what you do or if you change your name.
Well, not everyone.
Your dad? God, he's such a dick.
He really is. Hey, Nube. I like the name.
Daisy!
So, where's Fifi?
Fifi?
Oh, the Smiling Phoenix and I are on a nickname basis now.
We very much are not.
Oh, there they are. Hiya, buddy.
I am not your buddy.
So this is everyone then? This is the team that's gonna take down Null?
Yep, this is all of us.
I think you're forgetting someone.
The next panel pulls back to show Brian, floating above the makeshift grave, a brand new suit of Null metal around his body.
Brian.
The Smiling Phoenix. You found a new host, I see.
I thought you were dead.
That's what Master Null wanted you to think. He gave me new life, showed me my true purpose.
Null? As in the prick who destroyed the universe?
You don't understand. Master Null is going to rebuild it. He's going to make it perfect.
He's lying to you, Brian.
He said you would say that.
And what else did he say?
He said that it was my responsibility to destroy you so his new world can be born without restraint.
You don't have to do that, Brian.
No, but I want to.
What's that?
Oh, that? Meet Isaac.
No, Isaac is tiny, just an adorable little helper robot.
I've made some upgrades.
The next panel shows a massive robot, dozens of feet tall, stepping into frame. Its enormous foot lands on the makeshift grave, crushing it.
Brian, stop.
Make me.
If you insist.
Everyone rushes forward. The team versus their former teammate. Just as fists are about to clash, our issue comes to an end.
Thank you for listening to Moon Harbor Heroes. This issue was Doomsday, A Faces Story, Part 2. This was written and edited by Tess Huth, based on characters and stories from Faces, GM'd by Icy Sheets. The editor was played by Crumpit. Nick/Requiem/Lighthammer was played by Tess Huth. The Smiling Phoenix was played by Jacob Cordas. Daisy/The Real Lighthammer was played by Alix. Nube/Quetzal was played by Fabby Garza. Curse was played by Tanay Chase. Gargoyle was played by Jules. Sana/Portia was played by Satya Amira Omer. Charles/The Original Lighthammer was played by Jon Jon Johnson. Gunwizard was played by Icy Sheets. Citizen 1 was played by Rose Hahn. Citizen 2 was played by Evitablefate. Citizen 3 was played by Alice Kyra. Phelix/Rider Typhen was played by Kaito Cain. Alagula was played by J Cuevas. Brian/The Void Viper was played by XB. The archival recording of Power from A Very Merry March Masksness Issue 2 Spotlight was written by Tess Huth and performed by Kaylin and the Spotlight Ensemble. All sound effects were sourced from freesound.org. All music composed by Tess Huth. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter @moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice or tell a friend. 5-star reviews and word of mouth are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. And thank you for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.